Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah wa salatu wassalamu ala man la nabiyya ba'dahu wa ba'd. Praise be to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. May his peace and blessings be showered upon his beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the one who fought tooth and nail for Islam to get to every corner of the world. We request Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bestow unto him his full blessings and mercy, and to whoever is to follow his footsteps until the day of judgment. Allahumma ameen. Now, I want to dedicate today's session to discussing purpose of marriage. And before we commence, definitely, we normally have a discussion. Now, the question I'm having, why do you still find interest in being married, even with the sad realities of people that are already in marriage? When you get to a discussion with men, you will find them saying a lot about ladies. Don't marry ladies because ladies are stress factors, ladies blah 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 blah. Why do you still find interest in getting one? As a lady, as a girl, why do you find interest in having this husband, even with the reality? Because you have live examples. Abasajja bekyanga. Why do you still find interest in them? Bismillah. Tandike ne bani? Yes. Is it a hard question? Please. Please. Sembera kumpi wano. Rajabu yangambye wano ntakazinda lokatagadde. Ainawo akali wired. Ate njagala irimu eyo tujiwe ku bana abali online. Yes. Kali ludda waye. Yes. Bakamuweereze wali eyo. Sembere wano isa wali wano akafune bulungi. Yes. Ate our society is even unfair. Abantu balina tagali mbufumbo bwabwe. There are problems in marriage already, but even when you bring the intention that you want to marry, they will help you in soliciting funds. They will help you. They won't help you in a business. They won't help you into something developmental, socially, or maybe economically, but they will help you in getting into those problems. Why? Bismillah.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Actually, it's not that in every marriage you're going to find such and such as you said. So all I know, buli muntu Allah ina kye yamutegekera. Ate buli muntu abane kadari. Let me say if it comes to marriage.
If you take it to Allah. But are you hearing this point? Okay,
what I'm trying to say, buli nsonga yonna Allah ina engeri gye yagitegeka. Kati the fact is, in every marriage wabayo obutakwatagana, and it determines muntu kigo wafuna. That is the first factor. Nowadays people we are educated. It determines which person have you got. Ogenda very maybe of no mukazi, let me say omusanza ina byakola tugambe omuyombi. That means ofunye budde kola ki kudda okumwetegereza kumanya which person am I taking. Kati for guys like wagenda bira enyombo buli kaseera, that means gobo basing ide ku what's taking place to another person is what?
Reality.
Side, which is not to your side. Because when zija nengamba it's like bano beekubye. How sure into tugenda kuwekuba? Mwe treatinze mutya. Bogamba nti abana ngenda bakulekera. It can't. Kisinzira oba wasoma. Maybe ngolite yasoma nga tategedde bulungi the purpose of marriage awasobola okuleka. But to my side I see sirabayo nsonga eyinza kundeetera kuba mukazi. So, to my understanding
bagala tebagala mujja kuwasa.
Bagala tebagala tulina okuwasa. Sate si so mu. Allah abatedde mbaraka naye okoma ogamba nti nombu. Marriage there is beating. It determines kisinziza maybe omusajja oba intellectual totegeera bulungi.
So even with the reality that people are throwing bad news to marriage, you will marry.
And those people who are throwing bad news to marriage, you may find they are married and they have children. And they are married seriously, more than one child. But comes around is like, don't go to marriage. Yet you have like 4 children. That's throwing someone saying that marriage is bad. Yet to your side you have like many children, then you're saying marriage is bad. To your point, so kuvavako.
Checho. Yes.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
First and foremost, why do we want to get married, or why do we want to marry, yet there are negative words outside there? For my point, one, it's a call of nature. You reach certain time and you feel like, I'm tired of being alone, I need a lady beside me. You know kuwasa.
Obuwulu buno busobola okusika.
Yeah, n'owulira nti nkoye bino ebyekiyaayi kati njagala kuwasa. Or you need a kid, like for some ladies batuuka emyaka egimu ng'awulira alina ozzaalayo kaana ng'emyaka gimuleka. And another thing, why women still want to marry yet there are negative words against marriage. One, it's ibada. Nabbi yatugamba omusajja wowasa kitundu ky'eddiini ye kiba kijjudde.
What does that mean?
Omwoyo gwo sekafa abawulu tuwankawanka, that's the reality. Amaaso gaba weegati. Naye oba oli sure nti ewaka nyinayo hajati ngenda kuddayo ndye nga sinnalya oba nsobola olya nga sinnalya, omutima guba mutuma inna guba wamu.
Philosophy nga mungi yabe.
So that's the negative, that's the yeah, omutima guba wamu ng'oli ku mulimu ng'omanye ewaka waliyo hajati.
Ekitegeeza tova ku bakyala.
Ekisemberayo ddala. Tulinayo ne example nungi. We have some successful marriage,
Not
25
like every married
years.
person is.
Yeah, we have some good examples. So for me, on my side, okay, for an individual view, for me, my mom has been in marriage with my dad for 25 years. They are there. My mom, she's at home, takola. I've never seen her going in Bwanobi anything.
Well represented by
Yes. So for me, I believe in that, what I've grown up seeing. Something good. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi
wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi. Kitegeeza tusembye ebisa Uganda tusale side eno. I recognize the presence of Dr. Hafidha. Tabyagala no. That is my big sister wannaye. Mutunuulire. Say hi naawe. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Dr. Hafidha Isa Nagudi.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Isa ova ku bakyala?
Sobola kuba bakoseeka.
Obaagala?
Biri ebitonde mbyagala nnyo.
Lwaki ogenda kuwasa ate nga waliyo ettagali?
Sheikh, ekisookera ddala abakyala ng'oggyeko nti nno ibaada, kubanga oba tonnawasa ng'oli mu buwulu okuyingira ejja naako kuli ku 50%. Olina okuwasa ofune amagezi. Yes, omuwulu talina magezi.
Amagezi gakwatagana n'obufumbo.
Seeka omuntu omuwulu tategeera.
Wallahi
talina buvunaanyizibwa.
Isa totegeera. Okyali muwulu last time I checked. Totegeera kati?
Inshallah ina kutegeera very soon.
Statement eyo etegeeza ki baddayi?
Statement eyo Sheikh, omuntu ng'oli muwulu. Kati ekisooka woba nga tolinaku agogenda kugulira mmere, kasitoli ekikomando kyo, ewa maama gundi akamereko kali ak'ekyeggulo, landiodi wamusasudde, newe ngoloka sawa nnya, ani agenda okuŋŋambako, landiodi tammanja, yagenda maama bere dene ndi akamere kange, tosobola na kubeera na open mind. Kasitoli anokuta, landiodi n'omusasula nga weebaka.
Kati kitegeeza okusinziira ku madhahabu go buli muwulu ali wano tategeera? Omanyi kyo statement eyo kyetegeeza? Onaabasobola?
So, lwaki tulina okuwasa?
Lwaki ogenda ku mufumo ng'oti ate abakyala bano batigomya abasajja?
Abakyala abo balinga mmotoka. Seke emmotoka weekukuba, okujja waawe bakubidde baleeta ambulance. Baleeta mmotoka. Kitegeeza ono waakuyuguumya.
Ofunayo omulala.
Okufuna akalembekereza olina kufuna ate mulala. Yes.
Ona abasobola nga bakutandiseeko bano abakyala. Kwegamba tobavaako.
Sisobola.
Oba batigomya abasajja.
Oba batutigomya.
Oba bababba.
Oba batutigomya. Olaba yugumya mubaka.
Olwo gwe.
Watolunzi.
So basically you're trying to say nti ne oba batigomya batobavaako.
Sibavaako.
Mashallah.
Naam.
Barakallahu fik.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi. Tusale side eno. Ladies, why do you want to still get married even with the fact nti abasajja bano beekyanga? Chichi, what is the problem? Basajja mwabavaako dda? Ashiya leero kiki kibuuzo kizibu kankize mu Luganda ku mboozi eziyitira abaana basajja baleka abaana abasajja bakuba abakazi abasajja bazibu mu ennaku zino basajja kasasiro. Why do you still find interest into getting married? Lwaki tobivaako buvi nogaa tutambulira awo Allah nansaasira nenfuna ye yabivaako nja kuba nsiimye tewaliyo bateese sayidi eyo ekibuuzo kizibu aki yeyawanisa edda sekati wuno wano yes sister basajja babavaako.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikum salam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Mulimu ebintu ebimu nga byo tosobola kita n'okibanga oli akyogerako bubi batya nga kyo kya butonde kyo mu butuufu ogamba nti mbu ya rabbi nsaba onfunire omusajja obadde babi obadde baboogerako kiki naye nga nsaba onfunire oyo anantegeera kubanga kyemmanyi senti buli muntu ali perfect naye we tubanga tukwataganye wadde mu bubi bw'abaalimu emanjogezezaako kwogera bwentyo tujja kwatagana nga bwe tuli tusobole okwetereeza kubanga nange kyemmanyi nange siri perfect so eyo kyo kya butonde.
So basically you get married because Allah yasalawo ofumbirwe.
Yeah, okufumbirwa. Okay, say yes. It's a must. It's something natural. Something which is natural. Kubanga nange majagala okuzaala abaana nganze we banzaala. So wengamba nti mbu siifumbirwe kiba kikoma ku nze. So I have to push for it though there is too much negativity about it.
Because the reason as to why I got this question is some ladies get to a point of just getting a man, they get pregnant without prioritizing marriage with their own justification. Tabasajja, I'm not ready for the drama of men. So I'm independent, I have my job, I like everything. So just simpa lubuto and life moves on. Atagaina olubuto emyezi mwenda and like that.
Nekati seeka oba ozadde omwana ye omwana yaba agenda kulabira ku gwe kinti mbu nange we nagenda nenfuna olubuto nenzaala kubanga kati abazadde babeera kyakulabirako kale ffe tuba kyakulabira
kyakulabirako eri abaana.
Yes, kati nfunye olubuto fine omwana ngenda muza kati omwana wanambuuza taata wangaaliwa ebyo ebibuuzo naye tuba tubisuubira mu biseera ebyemmaaso siwe kiri seeka.
Mashallah, barakallahu fikum, barakallahu fikum. Ebulayo babiri mbaveeko lwaki mwagala obufumbo even with the fact nti abasajja beekyanga.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Me, I think to earn respect, that's one.
To earn respect? To
earn respect. Like there is a way people respect the married person. Actually, a lady, by all means, to earn that respect in society.
So would I be right if I'm like, ladies get married to earn respect? Kitegeera ate bino nja kubyagalanga nnyo. Omuntu wayogeranga point mugiweemu essente. Yes, to earn respect.
Yes, to earn respect.
Yes. Sunna nno njagadde.
Like in a society, especially ladies, there is a way they attach respect to a married lady. I can't say it's the major reason, but then adding on her point, it's natural, that's one, and then to earn respect in a society. Even if you look at occasions, wegendereza nnyo when they're introducing someone. Ono mukyala mufumba actually. Eyo teto tamayaga gireeta ku bawala oba omuntu atali married. So to earn respect in a society. And then the other thing, family kintu kikulu nnyo. It's a sense of belonging. Like it can't be fully a family nogamba nze ngenda funa lubuto nzaale buzazi baana bange taata aliwa. Like there is a way a family wejja ekifaananyi kino eno, having a dad, a mom, n'abaana. ekyo gamba nti no bogerako bibi nnyo ku basajja oba n'abakazi babogerako bibi. Truth of the matter is toyina muntu gogenda beera naye ne mutafuna butakkaanya ne wabeera your friend at one point mugenda funa obutakkaanya, so there is no ogenda obeerawo nga gwe everything is okay. So likewise marriage, yes, so wabeerayo ebizibu mufunamu obutakkaanya naye nga naye wobeera ne mukwano gwo ne mufuna obutakkaanya. So it's not that olwokuba babyogerako bibi tetugendayo, no, but then how do you handle ebyo mujja birabirayo mu bufumbo wame, because obufumbo obwenjawulo bufacing different challenges, but then bayina engeri gye babisolvingamu. So to unrespect and then okujja ekifaananyi kya family.
So ekitegeeza when someone switches to the other side of sigenda kuyingira bufumbo because of ensonga ze bayina ezo, but it is mashallah barakallahu fikum. Semberawo katono wamma kazindalo kali ku sunna kampimpimu sekati. Basajja bano mubeetaaza ki?
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
To me, I think marriage is an achievement first of all. Ova buto nga you dream of a grand wedding nga mama wa atudde wali. Grand
wedding otegeeza kadali. Ka grand yako nkagadde. Grand as in kadali grand.
A respected man oje abantu balabe nti mwala wa Haji kalungi gundi yamtutte. Okitegeera kale bazadde bafune ekitiibwa nazikuno.
Yes,
nga omwana okuzaalira ku lujja kiswaza ekituufu sina nazikuno nakati kale lwakuba mbu bagala modernizing the world naye nga kiswaza era omuzadde afiringa small. Then ensonga endala okubanga parents live separate lives kitraumatizing omwana. Kati mama abeera Nigeria, tata abeera Kyengera, ye omwana alaba ku makya munne mukwano gwe gwabeera naye ekisomero ye mami ne daddy be bamuleeta. Baba ne parents day ye mami ne daddy babaawo ye because abazadde ababe mami we agamba nze sagala basajja yabeera na mami we yekka mami alowooza sente mbuzimala buli kimu. Kati omwana oyo aba mentally unstable oba
kyonna kyekiri omusajja ono yeetaagisa. Mutuvuma mpola mpola naye tulina amagulu mu ngeri eyo. Nkyagadde ate wallahi ne Allah we bali kumpa kibuuzo kino basajja mwe babaagala just eyo stigma muji you are important. You are important.
Then ensonga endala maybe okujuza imani.
Okujuza imani? Imani ekwatagana n'omusajja.
If you're not married, your faith is half.
What does that mean?
Like omanyi tutestinga patience yaffe mu marriage. Omusajja agenda kunyiza akuzeeko omukazi owokubiri ogume awe ebe kusemberedde yake ejjana ebe esembera akuzeeko owokusatu olwoba wagumadda kati owokubiri gwe biruma.
Kwegamba nkwagadde mu in the way nti ibada eziri mu bufumbo bwokka, tolerance, patience, okulabirira omuntu wadde owuli oyagala kumukuba, like empeera eziri awo mpitirivu omuwulu taziina.
Kituufu.
Mashallah. Barakallahu fikum.
If sijagamba if you're single ako kaba kagira. If you're not married kale. If you're not married oba toyina muntu gogenda tika burden yo like je tuko mokula
ogamba mu ango ya omukyala bwabanga si
no mwami.
Joko ogenda funa stress ku mulimu kati toyina goyogera naye n'emikwano gituuka ne mubanga bond tekyali very tight ngawe mwana.
Eyo sunna nze njagadde. eyo sunna nze njagadde singa bannayi mukola bwe mutyo ye kinalabika kikanga omwalimu nze sikikozeeko delivery woli nze wembawa mobile money aha yes
oba tolina muntu gwogenda kwogera naye munyumiza nti leero bikalubye omuntu agenda
munjogera ennyangu oli mu nnyumba wekka ofunye ekisujja enkuba etonnya laddu mweri tolina agenda kuba simu ofa bulungi wallahi kituufu olina ebizibu onyumizaako omukyala psychologically okukakkanamukko tolina gwonyumiza oyogera wekka sayini ya bulalu oba ya bulamu oyo songa ntuufu barakallahu
oba ekirala kibadde kimbyerabidde
barakallahu fiikum tufuneyo 1-1 tugalewo tutandike aliwa ashiya
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Kyentandika nakyo nsaba Allah mpa obufumbo.
Obuvumu?
Kubanga shay obufumbo kirungi nnyo. I think it's okuba single n'okubanga toli mufumbo, it's a hard and 100% emotion beat. Kikuba nnyo. Kakati n'ofundako ffe osobola okwesimulira ennyumba n'oyoza ebintu byonna otereze ewaka niwabeera fine. Naye wali ono n'ava mu buliri nga tabwaze, buli kimu kiri disorganized. But this Ashia and that guy, it is really, I don't know even how to express it, because it is a strong beat. Omanyi kye bayita okubeera ng'ogenda longoose ewaka munno najja n'akusiima, how you feel. Do you know what it means? Someone is going to look at you and they tell you, mukyala wange nkwagala, mukyala wange nkwagala. There is some responsible out it puts.
No, that positioning,
yes,
works
the positioning wonders. Only. Nange ntambula ngumidde nti ndi mukyala
gundi
nga ngumidde nnyo because simanyi bannaye naye obufumbo kirungi nnyo kyova olaba waliwo one time I watched Cheyne. He said abantu abasinga temulifa nga temufumbiddwa. Nasomawo edduwa ne ngamba audhu billahi min dhalik. Because I want to face that thing when I'm with my husband in our home, making a family, loving each other every day. Baby, this is
despite
this.
the wrangles,
Yes.
the problems, there is that sweetness in it.
In everyday life, we face problems. In marriage, if they're there, and wanolaba oba oyombye na somero lyonna oba aliwo abakwalana nga bataano mu ssomero naye wali aliyo mugenda tuula mukaanye. Mbeera ku mulimu gye ndi manye nti no, my baby needs to have supper. Njefumbe nga, you know, there is... Okay, I don't know how to explain the marriage thing, but it beats high.
The expression shows the point. Don't worry.
My dad one time...
Barakallahu fikum.
My dad one time told me, omuntu nga tannafumbirwa, enniya oba eddiini eba ku 50-50. But when you marry each other, it completes to 100. Shaya obufumbo kyanjawulo nnyo naddala ng'olina munno mweyagala mwetegeera mukiwulira
babuveeko
sigwe bakukase kyova Allah nsaba Allah atuwa obufumbo bala bannange kubanga it's very sweet
nga temumiinisa bawulumwe miini arabu
kyabeeyi nnyo wabawo responsibility wabawo respect gy'ofuna ng'omukyalo omufumbo aliniitwe mba nkedde ku makya n'enfumbirwa ki ekinkukusa mu ssimu ne Hassan atampa mahare, you know, n'ebirwadde ebyo BSD, you know, HIV.
N'omwana azaaliddwa mu bufumbo alina engeri gy'anyumamu.
Alina engeri gy'anyumamu. Omwana w'omulaba akuyita daddy, ogulawo gate ogulira daddy yenna adduka. That man feels happy.
Ojja kwesa abawulu abali wano ensobi bagende basimbukire. Barakallahu fikum.
Chikwasa love, that love.
Mashallah. Barakallahu fikum. Basajja mmwe, you are important. I repeat this. You are important. Just like you're also important. Yes. Mashallah. Tusembyeyo Sultan tufunye abakyala bana. Tusembyeyo Sultan wakiri. Hey brother, are you still on? Good. Sultan abakyala obagaza ki?
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Sheikh nze nja kusooka ne ahadith ya Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Kubanga in that unauthentic hadith nabbi yatukakasa natugamba nti omuntu bwawasa obufumbo aba amaze completinga half of his religion. Ekyo kimu. So ekisookera ddala eyo nsonga nkulu nnyo lwaki omuntu yali badde awasa oba okufumbirwa. Ekyokubiri ffena tukimenye era tukikiriza nti obufumbo ibada yennyini esobola n'okuleetera omuntu Allah n'amuwejjana singa abeera atuukiriza nga bwe kirina okukola kitya. Ebyo ebyokuga nti simanya abantu boogera bibi ku bufumbo simanya buzibu biki n'ebisigadde. Ensi eno bwe kasiroba ng'owulira oyagala comfortability yo kensi eno giveemu. Byali biteredde ddi. Tugambe nti abatali bafumbo byonna bitambula bulungi.
Kitegeeza ayagala okusanga obufumbo nga butereevu
anoonyeko ewalala w'abaalaga.
Abireke bulesi.
Kubanga ffenna tukimanyi nti ffenna tunyiiza kubanga ffenna tuli bantu naye ate abakyala banyiiza. Kubanga omukyala ye muntu akunyiiza n'amaana akunyigira olw'okuba onnyiize. Ekitegeera. Kati tetugenda kubeera ku ekyo nti ogenda kutunira that negative side nti oba ofumba obuzibu.
Olina obbafuna.
Tulina okubafuna era tulina okuwasa kubanga ebintu bingi ebiri mu obwo
ebigendera by'obufumbo bisukka okwagala okwo.
Ekitegeera. Sijja kutunira nnyo kino ekyogamba nti ate omuntu bw'abeera omuwulu simanya bw'oba owasiza kisobola okuyambako nti olwadde ekiro ate tolina kuyambako ekyo kirala kubanga okufa kw'omuntu Mungu yasalawo. Omuntu ajaliye ng'etuuse ne mubanga mulimu abantu 10 mu nnyumba osobola okufa nga tewali akuyambi. Naye tutunulira zino basics endala. Ekitegeera. Migaso mingi ebintu bingi ebirungi ebiri mu buki biri mu bufumbo. Okuzaala abaana. Ekitegeera tewali muntu atayagala kuzaala abaana okuggyako mpozi. Bano banaafa abakolera n'aba LGTB simanya biki. Mpozi yabo. Naye omuntu yenna tewali muntu atali yagadde kuleka offsprings n'ebirala. Ate tewali muntu yali yagadde kuzaala mwana nga wa haramu. Kubana babalina babakweka. Ababalina babakweka. Tumuyineyo omutawuni omwami yagamba Seka alina kyali atusomesaako n'agamba mbu yalina abaana bayeka bawera ensanvu. N'amubuuza bonna bahalali nange simanyi.
Mashallah.
So ebirungi bingi ebiri mu bufumbo nze kusaidia yange ntunulira birungi ebyo ebibi nedda kubanga ibada yonna gyekoma okuzitowa n'empeera.
Ekitegeeza kagwake kagatonye temuva ku bakyala.
Tetusobola bavaako.
Mashallah. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatan min lisani yafqahu qawli. Now, I would like to prepare my audience with our social reality today. When you check the mainstream media, when you check the sad stories people go through, different realities rooted from different backgrounds, different cultures, there is a lot against marriage. Young girls find no peace in marriage, and you will find the same young girls finding felicity and peace in doing what married people do even outside marriage. The same applies with men. Men run away from marriage because marriage has this whole responsibilities thing, commitment, and they still find interest into behaving like married people because of what they believe marriage is. Now it is a reality we are having today, and because of that reality, many people are running away from marriage considering what other people have painted this whole picture of marriage. And of course, when someone is having a sad story of marriage, yagenda mawulire. Those are the people that will go for news. Because it is news not to be happy in marriage, but it is normal when everything is okay in marriage. Now, because the news is portraying this whole sad reality, abasajja bakuba abakyala, not like every man does that. But it doesn't mean that every woman who is in marriage is going through some hard story. And this is why Islam has it as an open door for those in marriage to make sure you at least inspire those who are not in marriage. Not giving out this picture that is built on falsehood, but at least trying to inspire them that it is a social upbringing, something to do with the family setup. Nti abantu abakulu, two adults, if they think of being together, it has to be with a family setup. More so if you're Muslims, it's an Islamic family setup. So that's why I wanted us to have this session. What do you consider as the purpose of marriage? Because very many people, even when they are in marriage, they don't even have the purpose as to why they are in marriage. Is it possible or not? Some of your decisions to marriage are built onto stuff that are not realistic, and in the long run, you're going to definitely find hard life in marriage because of the foundation. Now, who told you that you deserve a microphone to speak for marriage people, even with the reality that you were unserious prior to that? And now you think you deserve a microphone to represent those who are in marriage. Because Islam now came to give a purpose of marriage for the young Muslims, even old Muslims, that would find sense in marriage, to understand why is it that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, even with the realities that happen to be sad with some other people in marriage, why is it still a point for someone to prioritize marriage? Now, I would like to only use one verse to get neyo. It is narrated authentically in the Holy Quran, Surah Al-Rum, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Now, that's why I am a student of the Quran tafsir, because when you find one verse where Allah is trying to explain something, find time to investigate and learn. What did Allah want you to understand? Al-Maqsud. What did Allah want you to understand from the context as you memorize it? It is the one reason as to why when Shekhat was like, when you get married, it's like you've completed half of your deen. Many of you have that tradition, but you don't even understand what it is. The Prophet was like, when you get married, you have completed half of your deen. It has nothing to do with only prayers. Of course, that is something, it's just a bit of it. But it's because when you're in position to be with your fellow human being of the opposite gender, man or maybe woman, female or male, that whole combination is just full of acts of worship. To stay with a wife for 20 years, not even a slap. Now it takes Jannah for you as a reward. It's not because you're just going through smoothness, there are no ups and downs. So the Prophet was like, when you check the patience between the married couple, the patience a wife practices onto the husband, the patience a husband practices onto the wife, that is almost half of the deen. The tolerance now, the tolerance you practice with your wife for 20, 30 years, that is why Prophet was like, it's half of your deen. So you're in position to get rewards because of the presence of the wife. Had it not been that presence, maybe you would not be in position to grab those rewards. But of course, but there is also rewards into loving them, just caring for them. Even when whoever you're taking good care of, they are not grateful, but there are rewards, obviously. This is where I get confidence to be like, move ku janaza abantu just because you're married. That entitlement is not given to you by Allah. When you recite a tradition where the Prophet is like, the Jannah of the wife is under your feet, what does that even mean? What does that mean? How many of husbands have sat down to just analyze why the Prophet was like, the Jannah of the wife is under you as a husband? It doesn't basically mean that you're supposed to order and she does. You're thinking in that way because you're a man and you're a leader, masculine in the way. You're losing the point. it is a motivation of this lady just because you're going to be her leader. So she needs to prioritize at least making sure she's not opposing you directly as a leader to clash. So the only way you're going to get to that is when you appreciate all these authentic traditions. Neno sanga abafumbo nga buli omu alengeza munne. Tojja kuyingira jjana, ojja kuyingira jjana. Lwaki ombuuza ne onya n'okwonya lwaki ojja kuyingira jjana? Aren't you aware that even Aisha radhiyallahu anha at one point provoked the Prophet with these statements? Nabbi wonno gwosinga okwagala. And then Aisha was like, Ya Rasulallah, are you the Prophet that people respect, really? Because of something that just happened between the co-wife and the Prophet. Of course, it's a long story, we don't have time, but the statement Aisha was like, and then Prophet was like, okay, was just smiling and handled it as a Prophet, definitely. At times, your wife might be in position to say something they don't mean, but something they feel. And when they are saying something they feel, they don't even they are not even aware of what they have said. Naachi kugambye. Ayinza okuba kugambye nti musajja gwe wallahi oli kisiraani mu bulamu bwange kubanga abadde anyiize kya feelings naye aba takisussizaamuko. Ekisiraani okutomera batakisussizaamu. Ayinza kugamba ki for example? Nejjusa n'akomaawo. Nejjusa kituufu. Musajja gwe nejjusa. Nayingira ekisenge. Now as a man, n'otandika okulowooza mukyala yejjusa amanyiira, omukyala yejjusa amanyiira, yejjusa atya gwe nawasa ne muwa n'amahale, weerabidde nti abadde anyiiza omuweemu ennaku ezi 2. The same nejjusa is going to be like, I can't live without you. Now you are trained to appreciate like that. Live the paradises of people. The fact that you're in marriage, that alone is a platform for everyone to enter paradise. Allah tasobola bayingiza muliro. People who are morally upright, abayingira obufumbo. You're practicing patience, you're practicing tolerance. Mbu abayingize aleka abaki abali mukolo obwononefu. Of course there are problems within married people. Tewali wabuli smart. But Allah is not going to prioritize that because it gets to a level nti newona abo ofudde with your spouse nga mwawukanye. Or maybe mufudde gye kiri nti Allah ajja kuwa khiyar akubuuze omusajja gwe walina mu dduniya awo kyamwetaaga wano oba tukukyukizeemu ogambe nti ayi Allah naguma namala bampeeyo omusajja ow'omujjana nga we watusuubiza bamumpeeyo. Malayika zikugambe nti mukyala gwe Allah mulongoosezza taliimu ffutwa taliimu bukodo obwo. Then ogambe nti okay bamumpe wabanga bamukyusizza bamumpe. But with that discussion, now why am I saying all this? That is the reality of marriage. When you see someone on television trying to portray something, abasajja babi, abakyala babi, it is okay. Maybe it's their experience. Since when did we start building all these principles onto those bad experiences? So you're not even bothered atuuka atyo okubanga ayina information ingeyo to give out atutagaza nno society. There is no society that is going to be successful when marriage is attacked. Check out the single parenting story now. Our society appreciated this whole battle to marriage. How many innocent young kids are victims of that? Because you don't even value marriage. Islam designs, the Islamic wisdom brings marriage in a way, chikusinga n'obunene. You only get to marriage, but it's not all about you. Chikusukira ddala. This is the one verse I want us to draw this lecture to. Allah was like, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, Surah Ar-Rum. Wa min ayatihi an khalaqa lakum min anfusikum azwaja. This is the same verse you recite on your day of wedding. You don't even know the meaning. Allah is like وَمِنْ آيَاتِهِ. If you want to know the signs of Allah, أَنْ خَلَقَ لَكُم مِّنْ أَنفُسِكُمْ أَزْوَاجًا. Allah was in position to create your spouses, male or maybe female, min anfusikum, from within your own caliber, human beings. And some scholars were like, the reason as to why Allah never created our spouses from any other style or maybe dimension of creation was because a human being finds it easy to relate with someone who is in the same class with them. It would have been possible to get a spouse who is a jinn. Natonda abasajja nga majinni nga abakyala muli bantu. But of course we are human beings, we wouldn't connect. So as far as Allah is concerned, the fact that you have a lady who is a human being as you are, that is a creation of Allah, and it's one of the signs that denote that Allah is there. Out of His mercy, yatutonda nga fenna tuli bantu, because He wanted us to check the compatibility. It would be easy for you to understand your fellow human being kubanga mwetegera kyekimu. Now if you're a man, it's from this verse where you're going to understand that your wife as a woman, all they are your fellow human beings. They are designed like that as human beings for you to get attracted to them because they are your fellow human beings. But understand that maybe the reasoning might not be the same. Maybe the understanding might not be the same because they are women in that case. So even with those differences, you're designed to appreciate that the fact they are human beings, what way bibagatte really basic. You overlook the differences and you get to what puts you together. Min anfusikum azwaja. The one reason was litaskunu ilayha. Marriage has never been something people get into just because they want to get off their lust. The number one purpose Allah prioritizes into people getting in marriage, litaskunu ilayha, to make sure any spouse, husband or wife, is a source of tranquility, peace to their partners. Ani yakugamba nti omukyala yalina okubanga akuwa emirembe gwe wekka. And you're reciting this verse. Buli muntu asika zawuwe olinga agamba nti Katonda musajja. N'omukyala kyekimu. Abasajja tebatuwa mirembe. What does that mean? Allah only gave one purpose to marriage. You get married because you need to find peace within someone you're in marriage with. Now with that purpose, it's going to guide you in the journey of getting whoever you would like to make husbands. To ask relevant questions. Are they really going to be peaceful to you? And then Allah was like, وَجَعَلَ بَيْنَكُمْ مَوَدَّةً وَرَحْمَةً. After prioritizing peace, it's Allah that puts love and mercy between the two. Singa prophet akyali mulamu, singa adaga n'omulembe guno. Who told you, eh? Okay. Munansonyiwa naye kambasabule. Since when did you start to think that love is made by you? Allah is like trying to inform you, you don't have anything to do with love. There is a reason as to why Allah is Al-Wadud, Al-Ghaffar, Dhur-Rahma. Dhur-Rahma basically means Sahibur Rahma. He's the owner of mercy. What Allah does, after finding your fellow match this side who is going to give you peace, or maybe after finding the man who is going to give you peace, leave the love thing and mercy thing to Allah, He's going to definitely put love between you. You know what that means? It basically means when you prioritize love to decide whether someone is going to be your wife or maybe someone is going to be your husband, love is not something made by you. Imagine having a wife or maybe having a husband who you love a lot, but they don't relate with your parents. They don't relate with your brothers and maybe sisters. Maybe they are poor when it comes to communication. They are disrespectful, even when they love you, but they disrespect you. Now, definitely it's not going to last, because at the 11th hour, you're going to be like, even when you love me, but you don't respect my father. Now, there is no peace there. Many married people are in marriage because of lust. Kati namwe mulunze tubagambe. The reason as to why you're finding each one of you attracted, because you are adults. You are a man and she's a woman. You're biologically okay. Definitely when she blinks like this, it is attracting you because you are a normal man. So you're basically attracted to her because she's a woman, period. You exceed that. That's why Allah is like, litaskunu ilayha. You don't want to start a family when you don't have that peace aspect in it. How many married people have prioritized that peace when you're getting married with looks? Maybe someone who is going to give you peace is not a brown lady. Wawasa buwasa. Akuzalidde abaana ab'olugezigezi bakumanyiira. The same kids bagenda kukuba ng'okaddiye. Now where is peace there? Allah is just simple. Litaskunu ilayha. Because of this generation, you're losing it. Mutuuka n'okubanga muyingizaamu eddiini, being manipulated by religion. Okwegumya okw'eddiini, you're like, kasita ndaba, things happen. I don't want to, kasita I love this guy, I love this lady. Things happen. People change. Sigwa asose. Like, wobanga sigwa asose. Do you know what that means? It basically means yene yasooka yali ayagala omulabireko. You're too unserious to 11 tonna mulabirako. Ate sigwa asemba, it basically means ne onaaba osazeewo okutomera. Sigwa agenda osooka osemba okutomera. Some other people are going to okutomera. The same statement you're using okuyingira obufumbo bw'ettabbo. Now Islam is like nedda. If you want to get into marriage, prioritize. Are you really going to get peace from whoever you're graduating to that position? Mwenna bw'owulira abali ku TV, abali ku social media, basajja twagala mirembe. What does that mean? Mirembe ki gye mwagala? Now a young girl here is too obsessed with abasajja baagala emirembe. Instead of focusing on your man, mirembe ki egimukolera? And who told you that fenna emirembe gyaffe gye gimu? Maybe emirembe egyange mirala nnyo. Now if my wife was the unserious type, yandibadde aleeta emirembe gy'abantu abalala ayagala nno okuginkuba. Naye nga nange nina egiki? Egyange. Mukazi wo takimanyi. Tamanyanga nako emyaka 5 gye mumaze. Position kyekuweesa emirembe. Allah abe kubanga yamuwa irimu ngeeyo. Wandibadde oguma n'okuguma nga nti okay, my wife wadde nga ntagaza naye wano yategeera mpaawo emiki emirembe. The same applies with you. Are you sure this man of yours is going to be a piece of tranquility to you? Tochimanyi kyokka mulina date y'embaga. You're also waiting mbubigane odduke ofune akazindaalo. Please, mbeewaza abaana abawala mutomera mwagala okutomera. Keep quiet. Go just tuula wansi. We shall refer to you when we need reality. Tukuwa akazindaalo ogenda tugamba amazima, the mistakes you made and what happened after. Are you getting the point now? Allah ye yakivaamu dda n'akibalekera litaskunu ilayha. Now everyone is rushing ku kintu ky'atalina. The reason as to why you're not in position to create love within your own self, kubanga sigwa ina omukwano ogwo. You're just subjected to it. Allah does the magic. He puts love and connection ku bantu baba akoze eki baba asiimye. What you do as a human being is just kubeera na muntu just goyagadde akulabikidde bulungi. Kate biological otandise obwagazi oyo yasimanya biki mpulira omwana ono omwagala kubanga oli musajja sukka waawo. You don't want to get married to someone just because akuchamudde sexually. Marriage is beyond that. Agenda beera mulamu wa baganda bo, agenda beera muwala wa taatawo, muwala wa maamawo, agenda zaala abaana, kikusussa olwo. That's a big society. Okuzimbirwa just ku kantu akaki? Kantu akatono. Are you understanding the approach of Islam now? Now the purpose of marriage, just for starters, is to make sure oyina woofunira emirembe. byonna bibeerewo. I'm not saying that it is obvious kati mbwe emirembe girina okubeerawo obviously nga muyingidde obufumbo, but I'm trying to say ask relevant questions from the start to make sure these people are basically going to give you a peace of mind. If at all you do that from the start, thank you very much. So even when turbulences happen, ebizibu bize, ups, they are there in marriage, at least you know the red line of your spouse. Into one just sokawo. Agenda kumpa emirembe. The whole personality differences, waliwo abantu emirembe gyabwe kwogera. True or false? Kwogera. Ye mukyala wo tonnamanyi. When she's not fine, talking is a solution. Or you know better owulirize. Now if you understand it, your wife is that talking type. Tiwabanga atabuseemu yayagala kwogera ate owulirize. Mweronda mwemanyi kanonda omwogezi wange. As you enter in marriage, let her talk. Ayogere. Ovewo ngomaze okukola ki? Okuwulira, because you knew that. The same applies with your husband. Maybe ekimuwa emirembe kwogera naye. Atandika okwogera ovaawo. Ayogera, tomukyala tampa miki? Tampa mirembe. Now, bw'okozesanga statement ng'eyo tomukyala tampa mirembe, tekitumala. Mirembe kiggwe gy'oyita emirembe. Nekyoyita emirembe kiyinza okuba nga kulyaza amaanyi. True or false? Allah atugeseza n'omulembe guno. This whole gender roles story. Nemutuuka ne ku situation nga you're getting into marriage, but you're having discussions of gender roles. Abantu bagenda otomera omulembe guno. Which is okay. A young girl here, our fellow African here, you're being influenced by the marriage olw'okuba wasoma akatabo of a Syrian trying to demonstrate how the Syrians treat their wives in their own society and culture. You're too unserious to a level nti your husband is a mugisu. Wawano. Tannabana kusoma katabo kaba siri yako. Ovuddeyo nti emirembe jange, I want a washing machine. Bawo yakafulumana. University. I want a washing machine. I want a car for transport. I want a mahare 2 million. Olinda kyo kumuviira. Just walk away. It takes a lot for someone to understand kino kyensomye walala. Kiyinza obutakitinga wano. Do you know what happens in Saudi Arabia for married people? Before you even marry a girl, utaka okuba n'entambula. Agenda kutambula atya? Does it apply here? Bameka bazina wano. Kati nga tubuukira society eyo. Borders zaffe zijja tubeererawo wasa. Are you saying the difference now? Bw'olaba nga firimu ez'Amerika, better too clever to understand that is a society and we also have a society. Wallahi, there is also a society rooted from the theory side, the Sharia perspective, because some scholars gave in their way opinions rooted from their cultures and society. Ojja kulaba abamanyi abamu nga bagamba nti don't marry nga toyina ssente za mukozi. Mukyala wo sekati yakisomye. Akikusomesezza. Wallahi qala al-ulama titompasa nga toyina ssente za mukozi. Olinze kyo okumusomesa omugambe nti okay, aniwa yayogedde oyo. Onaamalako dine room zebbiri n'omukozi nga waali ku kakadde k'oyingiza. Now if this wife of yours is not understanding that, lodayo omuntu omulala nawe budde butono. Get someone else agenda okitegeera, mutandike family yo 2 double rooms, mutandike amaka gammwe. Allah bwagulawo maaso ya alhamdulillah ng'ofuna omukozi ng'obusobozi bukola ki? Weebuli. Are you understanding the approach now? That is the guidance of Islam. Litaskunu ilayha. You seek for peace as you get married. Now, if you're still in battles, ez'abaana abato, even when you're trying to connect with someone, olemerako biki? Baana kwenonooleza bizibu. Allah ali mu kulaga. Bannayo toyagala kutandika bufumbo. Na muwala atali understanding. Do you know what a wife who is not understanding means? Do you know what it means? Do you know what it means to have a wife ng'ekibagatta kyokka biology. Do you know what it means nga ne mukazi wo yennyini tomwesiga ntegeera ye just kumukwasa kazindalo mu interview nga kabenje kabadde wali noweeraliikirira ti omukyala bannaye kafulumyemu eggambo wano atrendingire tuswale. Do you know what it means? Doesn't that just tekikutuma kumanya nti litaskunu ilaiha, you need to train your wife omuteekemu that understanding tuwabanga agenda beera omukyala owa politician as you ateekeddwa okubanga ali outspoken nga ali confident mukko kuba bayinza mu interviewing as your wife. Omanye tabbu eriwo omukyala okukuswaza nti muwebakana emmuliri ofune di biology oyo onyumiro di biology nga wano tagali this reality yokka ekumalako. Temwagala birowoozaako ebyo, temwagala kulowooza kuba kyankalanya. Do you know what it means your husband okubanga ekibagatta kyokka sente? You can't even just basically discuss omwana wa maasomeddewa kubanga okimanyi baawo tategeera naye sente azirina. Oyogera birala naye ayogera birala kubanga osomye. I'm talking to people who are academicians now. Money is not everything. Marriage is beyond that. I know kubanga azirina, which is okay. Naye nentegeera eri basic. Ekyo kyokka ekyokubanga mwenna muli mu kibuga waneeno. It is a sign of compatibility. What will happen? Do you know what it means to throw a joke? Nga mbutuufu munna ateekeddwa okubanga agitegeera. N'agamba omumanyira. Kisoboka wali kisoboka? Byebyo. Notandika kwewoza kuba na it was just a joke. Nkimanyi bakyala mmwe we mutyo. Mutumanyira mu nzungu zammwe. Bawo yakugamba ekyo. Litaskunu ilaiha. Oyagala okubanga ebizibu ebyo bimalanga kubanga okimanyi nti at least waliwo emirembe gy'ogenda okufuna. Omuntu gwoyogera naye nga ayina atuwa okutegeera nti when my husband is down waba ayogedde nange agenda kubanga kakkana. Wallahi nkirayira Allah, because of people not understanding these meanings of the tradition, there are few husbands who prioritize talking to their wives. Mbawaayiriza kubanga okimanyi ekyamukuwasiza amagezi gasemba. Maybe the wife doesn't even have the art. Omuntu ali mu kuyita mu mbeera bweti bamukwata batya kubanga munna science. Now, do you think everyone is good at communicating? Do you know what it takes omuntu okubanga alina ekizibu kyakunyumiza nga kya busiru naye nga ate akaaba nga ate olina obbeera to receive omubudaabude tibana it is okay, things happen. Nga bwogezaako ate omumujerega immediately awo kigenda kutagala. Litaskunu Allah just statement nyangu litaskunu ilaiha akutumye to be effective communicators in marriage because you're going to need that effective communication. Even with the reality nti you're in two different dimensions. Omukyala ali emotional ate gwe oli logical. Oleeta amagezi go nnyo. Tetugenda kukkiriza omubuutikire n'amagezi go. Naye tetugenda kumukkiriza akubuutikire with your emotions. The moment you get too much emotional otuswaza, the moment you get too much logical otuswaza, isn't that enough to make you know nti obufumbo si bwa abaana bato? Womanya nti okay, as a husband my wife is now speaking as a responsible mother. Wiki omwezi mulamba fees zikubuzeeko. Mukyala wo si kuba nti takwagala naye ekyobwamaama kimutabukidde ajja ayingirawo n'akugamba bba wange nga sikutegeera toyagala baana bo. Atandise toyagala baana ki? Olw'okuba tobaagala wallahi mwezi mulamba batudde ewaka. Nkizudde nti musajja gwe byosomesa kate ngaali kunze byosomesa si byokola ki? Ogenda okukebera mu nsawo nga mbutuufu toyina ki? Toyina ssente. Oyina kukitegeera butegeeze nti kati ayogedde nga maama alumirirwa abaana be. Ayinza okuba tategeeza nti toyagala baki? Baana bo. Awo ng'osirikawo ng'ofuna kyayi n'entangawuzi nga weenywera nga weebaka. obufumbo bulina okutambula mu maaso temubuggala mu bintu bya kito tomukuba na mukuba obudde tulina butono waliyo n'enkya mujja kuseka olaba obufumbo bugenda okutambula when you get that approach naye bw'ogenda okumanya nti bbawo agenda kukubuuza why are you spending an hour making up justify omusajja ali mu mmotoka akulinze an hour mutandise mwenna okukola ki okwambala n'akulinda for 1 hour akubuuza why are you lwaki bannange bw'onaamutegeera nti ali logic okumumatiza obumatizi nti essaawa ennamba gye weetaaga ku musajja ategeera tojja kumalako ng'otandika kukyusa ogamba nti omusajja nno ali logico ajja kumpita omusiru ng'otandika kwetereeza tuwe tuba tunaatambula ntegeeza 2 days before nze nzuukuke mangu nkulekeo nga weebase neetereeze tugende okugenda nga tukola tutya tusimbula obufumbo buba tebutambudde kati example ndikuuza mmwe wano sunna y'abakyala mwakkanya nti kulwawo you and keeping time muli eno ne sunna yammwe kimusinga okuyombera abakyala tebakuuma kiki tebakuuma budde obufumbo ne butagalira okwo temukuuma budde mukuuma budde temukuuma budde temukuuma budde mulina ebizibu ebibagatta bingi okusinga ebibawudde ebyo omukyala bw'akitegeera ng'akwangwiza nga kiyita naawe nga bw'omutegedde n'otaggala bufumbo obulamu ne bukola butya litaskunu ilaiha conflict management now babatendekera wammwe abatana bakuyingira bufumbo mugenda mumanyinga butya ebizibu byammwe kosi kyeyo gye mukisoma waneeno even when you human resource bakutendeka ku managing bantu ba ku mirimu do you know what it means okubanga munno I mean your husband or maybe your wife ng'akunyiizizza to the bone naye nga togenda kwebaka mu ddiiro ng'ogenda kwebaka ku buliri naye. Now that is not for young girls and young boys. That is for mature minds. That is a skill that you're going to be taught by marriage. Even when you've got out of a very hot discussion, you've deferred. Omukyala ayinza n'okukuvumanga mukayana. Discussion negoyinga nakubba eggambo nti ogira okubeera malaaya ku mulimu. Naye nga bayita bamalaaya bakamaabo. N'owulira nga omwana ono oba weetaaga awona amagezi ge kagamba oba mmutuge oba mmukube Shaitani naye bangawo oba mmukole ki ya Rabbi. Naye nga obufumu bugamba ati leka naawe sirikawo genda mu kisenge mwebake bw'oba onaasalawo okumugoba tosalawo ng'okyali musunguwavu. Isn't that sensitivity? Because the purpose of marriage is getting peace. So as you plan to get to marriage, because please prioritize being a peace giver to your partner. Now I understand abantu batwesibako nga bagamba nti fa babasomesezza nga muwogera byetu abasomesezza. As I'm saying be a peace giver, I'm not training you as a wife okunonooze okutandika kukanyuga bbaawe amasumali. Wallahi bagambeko tampa mirembe. I'm speaking to you. Just be a peace giver, and as a husband, you're not a lady for a reason. Focus on your problems. You're a man. Make sure you're a peace giver to her by understanding your levels of patience, your levels of tolerance, just committing to her. Even when you're not around, ogenda mu safari nga mwasembyeyo nga muyomba naye ng'enkeera ogenda mu safari, the Islamic guidance is you're going to still live upkeep for her. Now that is commitment. Before you give a boy a chance to be a husband, focus on that. Olonzo omusajja as a man ayingidde obufumbo togenda kulya for 1 week kubanga mwayombi. Ate ffe tukulaba baawo sente azirina naye mwana muto tewakibuuza ekyo. Wrong questions that I got married to you because I love you. That is not justified. Love ejja luvannyuma. Tomanyi mukwano guli genuine nga mukwano gwa bba na mukyala after marriage. Because now you have real reasons for each one to love each other. Name abakyatagala bano ne dating, you love each other because you have sexual desires. Buli omu yesunga biology. Now you have a reason to love each other. Bw'omala okuyingira obufumbo, that's when you're going to know that you have get past to biology forever. Now other fields also matter. Ayogera atya, relating atya n'abantu, connecting atya n'abantu, like, do you know what it means okubanga mukyalawo abaana bo ababaganda bamudduka? Do you know what it means? And you're like, I'm peaceful in my marriage in that angle kubanga ffe alhamdulillah tata waffe tatwagala, mama waffe tatwagala, we just love ourselves, alhamdulillah. There is no peace there. In the long run mwabagenda ba upcoming kwawukana, which is okay, mulina okwawukana, because marriage goes beyond that. Forces hizi nozo kazoka getting into marriage nga sezala otakwagala. Do you know what it means? Katolo, this young boy of yours for your husband akugamba, my wife, don't worry, for us we love each other till life separates us. I know my father has issues, atandika. I know my father has issues and my mother has issues. Actually, even my sisters and brothers tebakwagala, but they don't care. I love you for myself. Nakuwasa nakutwala oseka, not knowing in after 20 years as you give birth waliwo jjajja in play ajja kwetaaga okulaba ku bazzukulu ate yegwe gwe basigula. Create peaceful environments for your marriages, and that is the guidance of Islam. That's why Allah was like, inna fi dhalika, after Allah putting love between the two, that connection between the two. Actually, some scholars were like, the step of Allah putting love between the two of you is the fact that you have desires. Just for starters. Now those desires are making you get attracted to each other, because like Paul's physics like repel, and like Paul's I told him so unlike it, ngamu connecting. That is the first step. The other step is, even with the difference in the background, but you still find some bit of being merciful kumuntu ono, and just loving them from there. Muina n'abaana babagasse, muina connection experiences bibagatta, families zibagatta, you're bringing two families together. Now that is a project that is very much sensitive, and Allah was like, inna fi dhalika, if you're clever enough in only that we've explained, la ayatin liqawmi yatafakkarun, it's enough to be a sign to a group of people that use their brains. Now that is the guidance of Islam. The purpose of our marriage in Islam is built onto peace on either sides. As a wife, prioritize a man who gives you peace. Hatonafuna musajja ategedde bujulizi bubi akumaleko emirembe n'omukwano wagukuwa. You have a camera in the house, even in the bedroom and the bathroom. We are trying to ask your husband, why are you putting all these cameras inside everywhere? The husband is like, I'm the protector because the Prophet told me I am a protector. Akumaze. In your car, there is a tracker. The husband must be knowing everywhere you're going. But they love you. That's why they are doing that. Otandise okulaba nti obulamu bufunze musinti oli muntu mubi n'ekisusse. Omusajja n'akugamba nti before you get out, wallahi, even when you're going to your parents, make sure you don't go if I say no. Now you request as a wife, please, it is 5 years, I've not seen my mother. Kuba muogera. I've not seen my father. I want to just go and spend a weekend. The man is like, no, because I am a man, don't he? Nasomana hadisi yesembesa obuchamu. Even the Prophet told us that even when what? Even when your father dies, you need to ask a permission from the. I think we need to make another halaka. Kuba abantu ifa abantu abasomye ebintu bino tuwulira obulumi nga mubikozesa ng'obujulizi mu mbeera etali nnungi. Tukama nti banayi nabbi bwazuukira nawulira ng'okyogera ekyo. Does it make sense to you? Your father has died and now you need a permission of someone who is not even your brother. Gwe mwayombye naye eggulo akukkirize osooka okola otya? You're calling to ask for permission, he's not picking up. You're not supposed to go because your marriage is also at stake. But you love each other amidst that. Does it add up? Of course, with time the love is going to decrease. Even when they become fathers to your kids, innocent kids, wakamanya nti omusajja mukodo ku baana be. Naye akwagala. Yeah, they love you, they are too loving. Ne birthday ajijjukira. Naye mukodo ku baki? Ku baana be. Are you going to continue loving them? That's why scholars were like, even in analyzing love, there are kinds and steps. Scholars were like, if you find out that the love is just increasing and you're finding reasons to keep you together, nemuyita mutagali ya mbufumbo for years, naye nga temwawukanye, that is a sign that Allah is actually putting that strong bond between you. Bw'olaba nganga every now and then, the longer you stay in marriage, love omukwano gugenda gukkirira. Now Allah is doing what he does best. Yagaba omukwano kyali mukola ali mukola ki? Ali mugojjawo. Kabaleme kuzuukuka mangu mangu, mmanye buzibu buvaawa. Muteekewo those reasons to make sure that love now keeps on growing. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us that purpose in our marriages. Kubanga buli muntu yandibadde ayagala okufuna omusajja amuwe emirembe n'omukyala amuwe emiki amuwe emirembe. You've not heard me bringing any examples. Ekinjagala nkibajjukize nti omukyala akuwa emirembe, ye mukyala akufukamirira, omusajja akuwa emirembe, ye musajja awuliriza buli kimu ky'ogambye. I can't go to those specifics kuba sibamanyi mwenna ate siri nabbi. Ettabbu njikulekedde siri mbufumbo bwo. Find ways of giving peace to your wife. Nze mukazi wo simumanyi nga ggwe. Maybe her peace is kumwesonyiwa nga anyize. Ate ggwe firimu z'olabye za kumuhaginga nga anyize. Okola ekintu ekinaakukyaya tonnamanya. Maybe ekiwa bbaawe emirembe bw'abanga anyize kumuviira. Ate ggwe bakugambye, someone told you that when someone is upset, atovaawo sigalawo busigazi. Continue asking, what's the problem? What's the problem? Banakuba oluyi. Understand. Emirembe jani? Jamunno. Awo no waliwo ettagali nyingi, and I'm not someone who believes into giving those examples. Olaba bwenjogera example ng'ekolera nze naye nga tekolera ggwe. Nkwononera omukyala sinnamanya. Olaba bwendeta example ng'ekolera ggwe naye nga ate nkwononera omusajja nga tonakola ki? Tonnamanya. So everyone find ways of making sure you're a peace giver to your spouse. Ate no waliwo ebyalaganga nti abantu beewa emirembe mabegakaawo. Ng'oku okola ki? Waliwo, for example, nammwe mulinga abatali bafirika bannange. Like for example, from the culture, omukyala okubugumiriza ku mazzi ag'okulaaba. Allah, weyagadde basajja mmwe. Like omukyala n'abuguma erizzi n'akola ki? N'akuwa. Nga gye mirembe gyo. Kijali mirembe egyo kati? Shawa zino ezayingirawo ne wooma eziri mu biyigo. Newa kigambe mukyala wo banga kyekyo. Ate kimugambe nga tonnaba kumuwasa. Mugambe mukyala wange, I'm too traditional. I know I have a shower, I know I have what? I have a warmer in the bathroom, but I just like that water in the kettle locally. Omukyala ono ayingira ofumbo ng'akimanyi nti katagalire mu sigiri myaka gyonna. Emmere y'enku. Emmere y'enku enkolera. Wallahi, waliwo ne kano. Some people are unserious because of that unseriousness. Kabatagale mu bufumbo bwabwe. Some men are bad. Some men are bad. Okimanyi nti waliwo omusajja munnaffe in Ramadan nga a wife ayina okuzuukuka ku ssaawa 6. Kubanga agenda kulya ettooke ku ddaako. Afumba akatooka akawaate akafumbe kuba talya mmere esuzeewo. But you love each other, but it is happening. Omuchala, for the whole month, 29 days. Mukaga, mpaka ngoma z'okulya. Mukaga, mpaka ate waliwo ne futali wali eri. Now that is a wife for someone. Eh? Tobanga woli waneno tuwe ku bujulizi. Those men are there. Those men are there. Naye tugamba nti nedda, you're not a peace giver naawe. Tolya mmere ya mu rice cooker, tolya mmere etali mbobeze, tolya naka ate nga byoyagala okulya ku ddaako. Noga bannaye basajja bano bali ku chapati, just bintu bya chai na chapati gwoli ku munno okanda. Tibannaye zuukuka okole bwoti yahe. Get people who are peace givers. Everyone can decide to manipulate and mistreat the other from their duties or maybe from their rights. No mukyala nga yasazeewo okukyunya into providing. Tojja kusiima. Mpeza amanda, mpeza kino. Bwayagala okisuuza tosobola kumalako. Naye kaba kakyalako nga kakusaasira, she's a peace giver, ajja kubalirira. Gavumenti my husband, ayinawo omutwalo katuyizewa. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us that peace. Allahumma amin. Wa sallallahu ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.